This backgammon. Welcome everybody to this Women in Backgammon learning session. We've got a real treat tonight in that we've got two world champions. Lee Genud won the world championship in 1981, and Bill Roberti, who's won it twice in 1983 and 1987. We're delighted to have you here. We try to have these every month on the second Tuesday of the month. And in August, I will be playing with Kent Goulding, who is like Bill Roberti, a member of the American Backgammon Hall of Fame. So great session coming up.
Great. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce. And tonight we are so honored to have Bill Roberti and Lee Genud here with us tonight. I could take the next 20 minutes reading off all of their highlights, but let's just start with Lee, who won the Backgammon World Championship in 1981. She's one of only 4 women to win the title in over a half a century of existence. Her final match with Joe Dweck was immortalized by Bill Roberti in a book, and it's actually called Lee Genud and Joe Dweck, the 1981 World Championship of Backgammon. So we hope maybe Bill will comment on that entire match at some point tonight. But we're just grateful that you're here. Recently, she was a finalist at the Los Angeles Open Wonder Woman event, as well as finishing second to Backgammon World Champion Katie Scalamandri in 2000 in the inaugural Palm Beach Women's Classic tournament, which we were happy to be one of the sponsors. And you were recently honored at a brunch in Palm Beach at a private club. She won the World Women's Championship twice in 1978 and 79. And it goes on and on and on. But also a big thank you to you, Lee, because you directed the backgammon clubs in California and New York and taught thousands of students to play the game. She was director of the Cavendish West Club in Los Angeles, director and resident pro of the Pips Club in Beverly Hills, founder, owner, teaching professional, and director of the Card and Cube Club in Long Island, New York. So I don't know. We don't even know how to say thank you for being here. We're so excited for this match tonight. So, and then we have Bill Roberti, who is a 2-time backgammon world champion in 1983 and 1987, one of only 5 backgammon players to hold that distinction. He was in the inaugural cohort inducted into the American Backgammon Hall of Fame in 2015, where he was cited as a gifted and prolific author, publisher, promoter, director, widely respected for your intelligence and your insight. He's been on every Giants of Backgammon list since 1993 and has been ranked as high as number 6. And again, it could go on and on and on. I'm going to skip over that a little bit, but to also say you are the CEO of Gammon Press, which is a leading publisher of backgammon books. And you've published a number of books, 7, I think, or 7 poker books in addition to all the backgammon books. And we're just grateful to have the two of you here. The match is going to be a 5-point match, and they are going to speak a bit along the way as they go through it. And again, thanks for being here, and let's get started. So, Frances, I want to give a little shout out to Frances, who is listed on here as Blue Shoe Content, which is my marketing company. And she, every single time we have these, she does it in a flawless way. So, Frances, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right, I think we are all set. Like Christine said, if everyone could just stay muted, there'll be plenty of time to ask questions at the end when Lee and Bill do their Q&A. But if you have a question during the match, just put it in the chat to everyone, and Christine or Karen will make sure your question gets answered. And then Bill, if we could just share your screen and then get going.
Okay. All right. Lee, do you want me to create the match and you can join in?
Yes.
Okay. Hold on, let's see. Okay. 5-point casual. And it is up now.
There it is. Okay, it's not there. That's- It's not working. Maybe it's my computer.
Let's X that out if you could get. And you see, Bill,
I have them, I just signed them.
maybe you need to go down, scroll down.
I already did.
Lee, it'll help if you put your filter on to 5-point casual, then you'll only see matches of that length.
And again,
And there are only 5 of them now, but
Master 0, there it is, right there. So I can
good
click.
join.
I will, but see, it's not working, so I'll just use this computer. It must be my computer. Okay, there it is.
okay, I accept your challenge. We are off and running.
Yay. I'll
You
try
can
it.
use the mouse if you like.
Okay. No, see, it doesn't do it. What's happening? Why isn't that working? Why can't I play this? I don't understand. Why can't I play this? Sorry, Bill.
It's okay.
It's okay, you got time.
See? What the heck?
Got to come in first, Lee.
Oh, thank you. Thank
You're
you. I didn't even see it there, but I'm not going to use that mouse. It's not working. It's in the wrong spot for my, I see. Okay, that's good.
Click on it. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, click on the next two.
What? I don't know what you're saying.
No, don't touch the dice. Click on the checkers.
Click on the checker on the bar. Should bring you in.
She's brought it in. She's. Oh, yes. Yeah, done.
Once I blitz, I'm stuck. That's a terrible. I don't like what I did here. I'm doing it. I started to blitz. I shouldn't. That's the wrong way.
One of my better shots, I would say.
You might as well take this out, Karen. This is not working there. The double fives. What? Okay. I'm thinking I shouldn't have taken that original play in the first game to go for a blitz that put me in this position. So I
No,
create,
oh, the double fives, no, that was right.
yeah,
That was a good
that was,
play.
it was what?
Your double fives, you played it correctly.
Really? Thank you. I thought I went too.
No,
early.
you just don't have another move there. Everything else kind of, you got these 5 guys on the 6 points, they have to go somewhere. And even if all they do is make the ace that and put me on the bar, that's pretty good. Otherwise, your position was very hard to play.
It's hard to recover though from an early blitz that doesn't work.
You're doing okay.
Yeah. Bad again. Now I didn't double,
I did.
so I will go right here. To
He
see.
doubled you. Do you take or drop?
I pass. I have to get used to what side I'm on.
You're on the bottom. You're always on the bottom.
With checkers at the board, I'm one of the fastest players and I'm lost here. Okay, I'm down 2-0. So I'm down 1-0. Yeah, this again.
The question is, Bill, would you have taken that double?
Yes.
I thought it was close. I would have passed, but it wasn't. You know, she had a huge racing lead, so it was not, you know, inconceivable to take.
I've got some race here, but I don't like doubling without the 5 point too much. So to speak. So Well, I don't like doubling without the 5 point, but oops. Can't have everything.
Tempted to pass, you're up 21, but the five's open. You got a lot of points to clear before you get home, and I'm gonna have a perfect, structure for a long time. So I figure we'll give it a try.
I didn't know if it was to take or not. I mean, the pips are good, but I hate doubling without the 5 points, so I guess that makes it a take. But they look a little better now. Oops. Trying to get the play this forward. I'm trying to figure it out. Found it. Maybe I should think about that. No, I shouldn't. The question is whether I should break the 8 point here, but then I leave a big gap, so I'm not going to do it. Oops, except I did it wrong.
You've already played the 6, yeah.
Oh, no, I can't do it. Well, I was I thought I did undo, get it back. Sorry, folks, I'm barely.
6 to play.
Oh, well, that, I'm making the wrong play then. All right, I'll just do that. That's the wrong play then. I didn't realize I'd already played that. Okey-dokey. I'm awfully stripped. And not in the way I used to be. I think this plugs there. This one. Oops. This looks much.
Good play.
Yep. Oops. That's a double oops.
That's an oops, no matter what decade you're in.
Finally, fives were good for me.
Enter the man on the bar.
That again. Okay. well, hey. Why isn't it proper? Oh, after we're playing backgammon.
Man on the bar.
I think I'm starting to breathe. How do you play this, Bill? I don't know. Finally, I knew the man was on the bar. Finally, a little freedom. Do I hit or not hit? I get fours back. Get back into that. I don't know. Yeah, take that. It's like playing like a girl. It's embarrassing myself. Pretty close race. Why not? Looks like it belongs there. Close. This race is close, but
Daphne Downs from Australia was curious why you didn't make the 3.
I'd have to go back and look at it. But I have a 3, I can't remember what I.
That was a question for Bill.
Oh, I can always make it later, and I just want to keep my checkers kind of smoothly spread out.
Well, I'm up 5. Crossovers are good. I think I might have lost my market here. So now it's 4 pips and all these crossovers. Close on, yeah. That's hard, Bill, isn't it? It takes you to 4. Let's see what you do. Did you already take? Oh, you took Bill? You took? Oh, so I'll see if you took. I didn't know you took. Oops. There's a good roll. Well done.
Lucky.
So it's 3-2 now. How does he play this?
Good double.
Question, why is it a good double, Bill?
Well, she's giving me a dead cue, so she doesn't need nearly as much as she would in a money game or early in a match, where she'd be giving me a live cue. All she has to do is be a favorite.
Whoops, I misplayed double fours. It's hard to mess it up.
No, I thought you played it right.
Well, it's probably okay, but I feel a little naked without my 4-point. Well, now this is interesting. It's easy to make the prime. And I'm kind of tempted to not make the prime. Am I crazy? Yeah. How wrong could it be?
You're gonna get flagged for that one.
I said,
Just
how
make it-
wrong? I said, how wrong can it be?
Yeah, it can be way wrong. Should have made the
Okay.
4-point. But you got the 4-point anyway.
That makes absolute sense. I said, how wrong can it be? So wrong. Sixes. Spin along. To let escape. Why? I don't know why. Whoops. So the race is 79, so that's safe. I think so. So where is my deuce? I don't know what this is. Hit the flag. Perfect.
Not my worst shot.
Can you play this?
Shameless.
You've been very good with double threes. At least this is over and I can relax. Want to get smaller.
Thank you, Lee. In all honesty, I can say I was incredibly lucky.
Threes were good.
Well, incredible games by both of you. Bill with a 1.76 PR and Lee with a 3.43, which is a grandmaster level play. So you certainly demonstrated that backgammon is a cruel game and that exciting dice can really affect the game. So Bill, if you could go to analysis and take us through the match. I see that we've got Kit Woolsey in the audience. He's a grandmaster. He recently won a doubles event with Lee Genud at the Los Angeles Open. We also have Candace
He just won
Mayron,
and he won the
the
Masters.
producer of the Los Angeles Open. So Kent, we particularly invite you to chime in as Bill and Lee go through the match with any comments that you might have.
Hi, Karen, sure will.
Okay.
Okay, so first game starts off 6-3 for me, no problem, split. Now Lee, 6-4. The hit with the 6 is forced. What you do with the other half of the number, if it's 6-4 or 6-3 or 6-2, sort of depends on where the checkers end up. With 6-4, thing is, you get to play a great 4 on the other side from 24 to 20. So you want to do that. With 6-2, you would usually hit and then bring the 2 down because the 2 on the other side isn't that good. And 6-3 is kind of a toss-up. You can play 2 down or you can split. Or no, I'm sorry, 6-3, you hit on my side of the board. So anyway, that's a little something there. Then nothing much happens. You play the double fives.
Bill, if I could interject, for people who aren't familiar with the Backgammon Galaxy layout, at the bottom on the right-hand side is what the XG preferred play is, and the bottom at the left-hand side is what the player actually played.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the number after what the player actually played is the size of the error. 0.0, 0.04, 0.03, 0.04, not a big deal. You still rather get them right. You'd rather get them right, and it's highly unlikely that Extreme Gammon gets any of these wrong. I mean, this part of the game is going to play almost perfectly. So you can trust what you're seeing here. The XG analysis that you get when you're on Galaxy is only 3 ply. So it's not as good as you would get using Extreme Gammon as a standalone program on your computer, but it's still really good. there's a lot of crackpots out there who say, you know, the dice is rigged and the computers can't play, and pay no attention to them if you run across them. Okay, now go down to move 6, which is the 4-1. And the problem here is you should have doubled before you rolled the 4-1. You're up in the race by 15. You've got a better board, 2-point board to my 1. I got a guy on the bar. I got 2 other vulnerable blots. You don't have to think this out. I mean, you don't have to go through what if I roll this and he rolls that. Once you've gotten to that point and you've said, okay, here's what's going on, it's a double. Mistakes lots of players make in the opening is that they try to figure it out too much. They overthink it, literally. Because at this stage of the game, if you can say, I'm better than my opponent in feature X and feature Y and feature Z and feature, you know, A, and they're not better than me in anything, then you have a double. There'll be rare exceptions. They won't matter much. It won't be big errors. But basically, once you look at this and say, oh, I'm up 15 in the race and I have a better board and he's on the bar and I'm shooting at 2 blots, your thinking process is done. You've solved the problem. It's a double.
Two other ways of looking at it. One is, do you have any reasonable chance to just blow your opponent out of the water? And I think it's pretty obvious that you do. Now you make the 4-point on your opponent's head and the opponent flunks and you lost your market by such a mile you don't want to think about it. And the other way of looking at it is everybody so sure this is a take? I'm not. I mean, I would take, but if God came down and said, this is a pass and I'll play it as a proposition, I would be a little hesitant about doing so.
Yeah, I have a lot of pupils and a lot of them have exactly this problem, that they're really stuck when it comes to early doubles. They feel like they're doubling too soon and they're giving up the cube and blah, blah, blah. And so that's where I developed this idea of just saying, look, total up your assets, compare them to your opponents, and just go with, you know, if you stand better in 3 or 4 parts of the board, then just double. And don't think about it any more than that. And that seems to kind of, that cures them sort of. Because what they're really doing is they're overthinking these positions.
How close
they've got all kinds of ideas running through their head. If I do this, if I hit him loose on the 4-point, he hits me back, and blah, 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 blah. And then I don't like my game. But you don't have to go through that because you love your game right now. Your game is terrific.
Bill, what does XG say on the cube?
Yeah,
what is?
Bill Daphne Downs has asked for the detail on the cube. So if you could click on the cube and
Gotcha. Yeah, okay, no double, 0.71, double, 0.86. So huge double, huge take. But it's a scary take. I mean, do I love taking this cube? You get a lot of errors when you double these positions, and your opponents just say to myself, oh my God, I'm on the bar, I got 2 blots, why was I ever born? Yeah. And they give it up. And you got to cash, you want that. You know, you want some of those free points. And this is a position where you can, over the board, even against a reasonable player, you're going to get some free points here.
Wouldn't shock me at all to get some passes.
And against a bad player, you're guaranteed to get up.
Yeah, I might have been one of them.
Ah, there you go.
I did say I would take, but I wouldn't be that confident I was right.
Yeah, I'd take it too, but I wouldn't be happy. I would not be a happy camper. Okay, so now everything went okay for a while. Let's see. Oh, I roll a nice double 5 from the bar, and I think I'm cruising. I roll double 3s, and I'm looking good. And then all of a sudden, the roof falls in down here. All right, take a look at move 16, which is a 5-2 for lead. And the trouble with you got flagged for playing 14-7. And the trouble with that is just that I can hit you and not break a point to do it. You know, I can hit you with a spare that I'm happy to move anyway. So you want to be a little suspicious of that. 14-9-6-4, it's not a pretty play. You like having that third checker on the 6 point. That guy there proves to be useful more often than not. So it's not that you like the position so much after 14-9-6-4, but it's okay, and you're not giving me a shot to take a big race lead, or to get even in the race in this case, I guess. So that's all there is there. Not a, you know, again, not a huge error, but you don't have any reason to leave a blot out on the 7 or the 8 or the 10 right now. Because I get to hit it without breaking the 20 point, and I'm delighted to hit it.
Yeah, part of the issue is, you know, obviously you hate it if you get hit. Someone becomes from a favorite to an underdog. But even if you're missed, now you have to spend your next roll cleaning the damn thing up, when really you'd rather be concentrating on running the back checkers to safety. And if you make your bar point, it doesn't help you that much.
Right, you can't make the bar without breaking either the 9 or the 13, and you want both those points. There's not a lot of upside with that play. Okay, now I get flagged. Now I get flagged for not hitting you on move 19. Yeah, I mean, I've thought about this, obviously. You know, you got a lot of return hits. The board's kind of scary. And 13-8, I should have gone with the hit, because 13-8 isn't strong enough. That's the problem here. If I had a really good play without it, it didn't hit, I could do that. But 13-8 doesn't qualify, so yeah, I should have hit and just kept going.
I don't agree. I think this is a very simple position here. When behind in the race, when ahead in the race, race. When behind in the race, don't race.
Well, I'm not sure I'd analyze this one like that, because blue has so much work to do to get into the race. You know, getting the guys on the 22 out is not going to be easy, and taking down the 16 and the 13 is not going to be easy.
No, but the point
And
is,
that was kind of what dissuaded me.
you're going to have to.
I
hit
felt like I could
sometime.
hang around here for a while.
You're going to have to
and
hit
watch.
sometime to win anyway, presumably.
Yeah. Well, it was indeed an
Dennis-
error, not crushing, but certainly not something I'm
Dennis
happy about.
Dennis Culpepper had a question asking Bill about a 5-2. So I don't know if it's the,
The next move is a 5-2 where I played 13-6. Is that the one? XG says it's, I thought it was virtually forced, and XG says it's right. I'm not sure. That's the only other 5-2 I have here, I think.
Dennis, can you clarify what you're asking? Go off mute and chime in.
Hi, yeah, no, Bill, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, Bill, you had said if you had a better two that you would hit, so 5-2 is better. I just wondered if that would have swung it for you to not hit, because it's better than the 3-2. Because it goes
okay,
into the
let's
6
go
point.
back here.
instead
So
of
if
the
I
8.
roll 5-2 instead of 3-2, well, 5-2, I get to hit and go to safety.
Yeah, that would be great.
So that, yeah, that would definitely swing it. And also
Oh,
cuts
yeah.
way down on the return hit. So yeah, I'm hitting with 5-2 here.
Okay, thanks.
I mean, I think from what we've seen, white should be hitting with all the twos. But certainly, you know, 5-2 is the best. 5-2 and 2-2 are the best twos, and I'd be hitting with them. Okay, so I think that's game one. Game two. Oh, the
Wait,
double. I guess on game one,
take a look at the
take
cue.
at the end was correct.
Take a look
on
at the
both
cue
counts.
decision.
Yeah, hold on a second. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so I'm down in the race, but blue's boards collapsed. And, you know, I can make the 9 point, I can make a 4 point. And blue's coming off the anchor with 6s and 4s, all of them. So yeah, I think this is a pretty
I think
just a real
I think
real
it's
clear
very,
double.
but
And
let's see, I think it's very close. I probably would have.
oh, and
taken it at the
XG
table.
likes to take here.
I would have taken it at the table.
Yeah, XG thinks Lee should have taken.
How close?
Not many players over the board are taking this. I can tell you that.
Bill, can you click on detail and let us see
Yeah.
what the cube says?
Oh, it's a photo, yeah.
Very
Yeah,
close.
it's a teeny tiny take. And this is on level 3 evaluation, which wouldn't necessarily hold up under a higher level or a roll. This one, I would not feel I had the answer here until I'd done a rollout on this position.
And even then, you'd probably find out it was too close to call.
Yeah, I might. I very well might. Okay, so game 2. Let's see. Okay, game 2 looks like, yeah, I actually didn't like Lee's double. Up 21, I thought it was okay. I would have doubled this, but I would have thought it was a pretty easy take. You know, if Lee makes the 5 point, then
XG didn't like the double here?
XG thought the double was an error. 0.05, in fact.
Oh, that, I can't.
That's a little surprising.
I
Yeah,
can't.
again, we're
Something-
looking at 3 ply, so
I
we're
don't-
not
I don't- I don't
entirely
I don't believe
convinced of
that.
this,
I
but-
don't believe that at all. I mean, making the 5 points a pretty significant market loser, and nothing terrible is going to happen. There's something wrong with that.
Looks like a double
What was
to
your
me.
thinking, Lee?
It looks like a double to me, you know, like you got the pips, you might make the 5 point and lose the market. If not, you can play overly safe for a little while if you have to, because you're ahead in the race. So why isn't it a double? Is what I don't understand.
And to me, the issue is you make the 5 point, that loses the market by a pretty significant amount. End of story.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
I can't believe that evaluation.
Hold on a second, folks. We're about to get XG plus evaluation on this. And let's see what the real answer is. Yeah, I certainly thought Lee's double was correct.
You know, Daphne Down's point was that she thought it was maybe no double because you've got 4 checkers 6 away from Bill's point.
You don't look at the cup as half empty. You look at it as half full. You don't worry about the bad things which can happen when you're thinking about doubling. You just worry about the good things and say, are they good enough so that I have to double?
I know he thinks like that.
Okay. Yeah, I completely agree with what Kit just said. Okay, XG plus, which is a pretty good level, just short of rollout quality, says monster take.
Yeah, but is it a
Barely
double? Huh?
Barely a double.
Barely a double monster take. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay,
So
now let's see.
so this 3 ply analysis is wrong by a ton. Wow.
Yeah.
That's worth noting.
Now move 14. Lee had a 2-1. Yeah, I agree with this. 10-7 is just a little better than essentially killing a checker to the 3 point. Not a huge big deal, but
I disagree. I mean, it's not huge cost, but for a position like this, it's a pretty significant deal.
okay.
Yeah, basically, you're planning on clearing the 10 point as soon as possible. So you got to strip it before you can clear it.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
That's what
Good,
it's all
good
about.
point by Kit. Lee's first task here is to clear the 10, or the next task. Well, first task is to make the 5, but that's up to the dice. Barring that, job number 2 is clear the 10, so strip the 10 first. and then you're ready to clear it over the next few turns. And let's see. Oh, 6-2. Yeah, I thought this was on move 20. 6-2, I thought clearing the 8 was really clear.
Fairly the eight there.
Gives you 3 spares to play with. The point you got to clear anyway.
No,
Never going to be
I started
trivial.
to make it. I don't know what happened, but it's very clear because my play was horrible.
Yeah, you went back and forth.
I went back and forth and then I didn't even know where the checkers were pretty much.
Just
All right.
as a good theme in these positions, when you're coming in against one of these moderately high anchors, you can't have too many spares on the 6 point. It just seems to keep coming up that way. Spares in the 6 point are golden.
They are indeed. It is 100% on that. Love having spares, and basically in all phases of the game, not just the ending.
Oh
where,
yeah,
you know, it's really clear, but in all phases, that spare on the 6, that's a good place for a checker to be.
yeah, that can help you swallow that bad roll.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Okay, now game 3. Looks like I goofed here on move 9. Now I got this 5-2. Okay, well, the reason I did what I did was because Lee's position has so many good building numbers next turn that I felt like putting her on the bar and stopping all that was better than anything else, given that I don't have a really great play here. XG flags this as a pretty significant blunder.
Well, it's got a lot of things against it.
Yeah, stripping the 6 is against it.
Stripping the 6,
Um,
getting stuck on her 2 point. And she's really not threatening anything.
Well, she's starting to make her 5 point.
So what?
At the time that bothered me, but
Plus,
yeah,
plus your-
I this one I was not sure about. I'm not terribly surprised that it turns out.
plus your deuce makes the 11. And those are 3 factors. Plus a lot of her numbers, which make the 5 point, are duplicated because they're also valuable hits for her.
The other interesting thing about this is play 13-11. A lot of players would overlook that on the idea that the 11th point is not a key point. But the more you play, the more you realize that all points matter. You know, you don't want to break points willy-nilly, and making a point, even an apparently sort of out of the way random point like the 11, is surprisingly strong.
And it's stronger in this structure when you have your 4 point and the 5 point is open.
Yeah, that's true also.
But I
It's
agree with
making the point
what
that
you
once
say.
you've made your 4 but not your 5, the 11 goes up in value because it becomes a point that bears on the 5, which is what you really want.
But what Bill says is very correct. You know, assets are everything.
Yeah, you don't give up asset, and assets come in a lot of different forms, but you don't give them up without a fight. Okay, so that was my probably standout lemon of the match. Let's see, move 13. 6-1. Okay, XG wants me to play this small. I thought it was time with the 6-1 to at least start to get the back checkers doing something other than sitting there. And a blot on the 7 didn't seem terribly risky. So I was happy to play 23-22.
Yeah, I would have made your play because I think the split is valuable, but it is
In
true.
these blitz positions, one of the hard parts is figuring out what to do with your back checkers. When do you sort of pause the blitz and do something with your back checkers so they're less likely to get stuck?
But I think a big consideration, you know, which maybe 13-6 is right, I'm not sure, is again the spare on the 6 point. You know, And the,
Here on the 6 is very
and,
nice.
and the checker on the bar point, I mean, it's sort of a dangling participle. It's only a liability, not an at compared to being on the 6 point. In other words, it's a builder in both places, but on you don't really want the bar point here. And
No, I would rather have played 13 to 6 rather than leave the guy on the 7. But I felt like now is a good time to break the back checkers and just kind of make sure some of my random big numbers play okay next time.
yeah, I would have made your play, and I'm still not convinced, but I can
Yeah.
see why 13 to 6 might be right.
Yeah, 0.026.
Yeah.
He says
I
that
mean,
could, like I
and it's-
say, level 3 analysis. You don't take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, but you check it.
But to give you idea a little difference, let's suppose two of Lee's checkers on the 6 point were on the 5 point. She had that. Then I would definitely make the split,
Oh yeah, then splitting would be 100%.
because otherwise you'd really be stuck on that 23 point.
Right.
I wouldn't.
You're
wanna-
always more stuck than you think you are. That's the thing about these blitz positions with 2 checkers back. The 2 checkers are always more of a problem than you tend to think they are. But evaluating exactly how much of a problem they are is kind of what you're thinking about in a position like this.
So Lee, what did you think?
Well, I like to split, and so if I did that, then I would come down to the 7 point. I mean, I wouldn't mind being on the 22 point. I don't see why it's so dangerous, but
Oh, it's not dangerous. That's not the issue. It's the fact that the checker on the 6 point is better placed than on the bar point by a fair amount.
it's not terrible on the bar point. It's at least a builder.
Well, it's a builder on the 6 point, but it's not a block.
No, I agree, but then you don't get these splits. So that my first thought was to come in like you did, to the 6 point. That made
Oh,
sense to me, but
No,
I would.
I would split. I would agree with Phil's play.
So that's it. You got to play a 6 if you split.
Oh, yeah,
Now,
no.
the issue here is the spare on the 6 is better than the spare on the 7. But splitting the back checkers is better than not splitting the back checkers. So you got to balance those two. And it's a tricky balance. And, sometimes you're going to get it right. Sometimes you're going to get it wrong.
Anyway, it's very close.
Yeah, right. Turns out to be close anyway. Okay, now, let's see, move 19. I had a 5-1 here. And okay, 23-18 is certainly the right idea with the 5. You've got to, stop. I have to stop Lee from making inner points. And the way you do that is take this useless guy on 23, stick him out of the 18. If you get lucky, you'll make the 18 next turn. The ace was the problem. XG wants me to start the 5, and I didn't want to blot in my board next turn in case I get lucky and hit something. So I played 8 to 7.
This can't be a big deal. I mean,
No,
I'd be, if it's an error, I'd be shocked if it was this big an error.
XG has it as a 0.02 error.
I don't believe that.
That's right. Okay, now game 3 moved 28. Lee had a 6-3 to play. Oh, this is kind of interesting. Lee cleared the 11, which I think I probably would have done. And XG wants to play 8 to 2, 6 to 3.
I don't understand.
Clear the
that.
11 sometime.
I don't understand that at all. I think this is just a flawed 3-play analysis.
Yeah, could be. 0.025, not a big deal. Okay, Lee, I would have made your play.
It's basically a race, and that's the best racing play.
Yeah.
That looks just
Maybe,
wrong.
okay, if the play's right, maybe here's the reason it's right. Because if I roll 5-4 or 6-4 next turn, I don't get to do what I'd like to do, which is clear the 7. Instead, I'm making up my board, which isn't bad either.
Yeah, but how important?
But it could be that's where XG's evaluation.
How important is clearing the 18 point in this position?
Well, I wouldn't think it was very important at all, given that I've got plenty of ways to play a roll like 5-4.
Exactly. I mean, if you were you know, if you were crunching otherwise, it might be another story, but I don't see this at all. I think
Yeah.
XG's 3 play is just wrong.
3 sheets for the win. Okay. All right. So now I'm up 3-2. And when you're playing these short matches, you know, you want to kind of stop at each score just before you roll your dice or hit, you know, roll. And you just want to think for a second, okay, what's my cube strategy next game? My cube strategy is I would love to play for an undoubled gammon, which would win the match for me with no risk. And Lee would be giving me a dead cube if she doubles, so she can double very quickly. And indeed, that is what happened. So game starts off, let's see. Okay, oh yeah. Lee, you actually should have doubled after rolling double sixes. That was enough. You didn't need any more improvement than that. And XG is telling us on move 4, yeah, you should cube and see what it, assume XG thinks a huge take. Yeah, huge take, but you can still double this. Starting off with double sixes is plenty good enough. Okay, so anyway, one more turn.
Look at it as this. I'll tell you. We look at it from a simple point of view. You're the favorite, and your opponent can't use the cube, so why not double the stakes?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
granted, it's
all
not.
there is to it.
Well, it's not all there is to it. Basically,
That's most of what there is.
yeah, it's most of it. Basically, the issue is that you have, when you're a favorite at this sort of score, you don't look for a reason to double. You look for a reason to not double. And the only real reason is no market losers. Well, you've got market losers here. You know, you hit and rolls nothing special, or you roll doubles and you lose your market. Yeah. In other words, you don't have to look for reasons to double when you're a favorite. You have to look for reasons to not double. And if you can't find any, then you double.
Well put. Yeah, that's exactly what your thought process should be. You want to double, so you got to find a reason not to every turn. And as soon as you stop finding a reason, then you double. Okay, so we doubled next turn after the 3-1 and the 6-1, I guess, by me. And I took still a take. Not really a problem.
No.
And now,
Hold it.
Yeah.
At this score, I think this is very close decision. See how close it looks.
No, I thought this was pretty easy.
I want to see how close it is.
Okay, we'll set it up on your XG and tell us.
No,
what
look
you
up,
think.
click on detail on the double.
Oh, okay. Detail, yeah.
Yeah.
Double take 0.886. Yeah, I don't want to pass that.
Okay.
That's a significant error.
It's
Okay.
Very low gammon risk and a fairly decent winning chances. Okay.
All right. So then XG says the rest of the game was played perfectly.
Yeah.
Nobody had all that many. There weren't that many hard decisions later on, but I threw some nice doubles to win the race. So always good, always helpful. Including a final 6-6, I didn't even need.
So this is your opportunity to ask questions. Anybody who would like to ask questions either about the match or just things you're curious about of Lee or Bill, feel free to go off mute and raise your question. So we've got a question from Turkle asking how big the 3-3 joker was in game 3.
I think it was a 4-4 joker, but let me see if we're looking at the same joker. I think I bore off all, yeah, the last joker was 4-4. I think that's probably the one he's talking about.
Oh, there it is.
Well, it was pretty big.
There it is at the bottom. Yep.
Pardon?
Turkle, were you talking about a 3-3 or a 4-4? Game, oh, he said it was in game 4. I'm sorry.
Game 4. Okay, let's see what my 3-3 joker was in game 4.
Oh, yeah, that was a miracle roll.
Okay, anybody know what the move? Yeah, hit from the bar and covered. Oh, that I forgot about that. Yes, sir. That's that ranks well up there in the list of game-winning jokers. Yes, sir. I was happy to see that.
Someone put in the comment, how big was double threes? I mean, how big can you get?
How big can you get? You go from loss to win. Boom,
Well, that's
boom,
how
boom.
Yeah, that's average plus, I will admit.
Yes, sir.
Bill, we've got a question, just a reminder, actually. So what about that match with Lee Genud and Joe Dweck?
Oh, okay. What's the question?
I think they just want to know, why'd you write an entire book about one match?
Oh, well, I can explain that. So I won a trip to Monte Carlo in 81. No, I'm sorry, that was 79. Okay, I paid my own way in 81. I played in the tournament. As I recall, didn't do anything special. Watched Lee kind of march through the field. Sunday morning, they came around and asked Paul if he wanted to do the commentary. And he said, sure, and I'd like to do it with Bill. So the two of us got up there to do the commentary for the match. It was very interesting, but we were watching it on the little closed circuit TV, and I realized, well, wait a minute, I can record this whole match. So let me do that. That'll be the first World Championship match, as far as I knew, ever recorded. So we commented, I recorded it, and then I got home and said, well, be ashamed to let all this go to waste. Why not write a book about it? And what I did for the book was I rolled out all the positions that were cube decisions. And I rolled them all out somewhere between 100 and 200 times.
Yeah, remember, everybody, there weren't any XGs around at this point.
No XGs. You did this by hand. It took months. But it was fascinating because here's what I learned. Oh, and by the way, a friend of mine, a girl named Cecile, who was working at the same computer company I was working at, was Louis de Jong's assistant during the tournament. And the night before the final match, she was having dinner with Louis and Joe. They were good friends. And so she got to hear Joe's strategy for the match. And Joe's strategy was, don't let things get out of hand. Don't take any cubes that are iffy. Instead, he was going to grind Lee down with his superior checker play. I think Kit's probably chuckling because he remembers those days as well. Yeah, the idea was that, the best players, and Joe was certainly one of the best players in the world, could win matches just by passing doubles that were unclear and playing superior checker play. Now, Lee's strategy, as I discovered later, was the perfect opposite of that. Lee wanted to double aggressively. And that was absolutely the correct strategy if your opponent is planning on dropping your aggressive cubes. And so Lee just kept piling up the points, scoring a point at a time here and there, just by doubling. And Joe would look at the position and he'd start thinking, oh, gee, if everything went wrong, I could get gammoned here, and I pass. And before you know it, she's piled up a 5, 6, 7 point lead, and he can't catch up. And this was not an unusual misconception for the time. This was how a lot of players looked at cube strategy. Don't let the quote weaker player be able to get a lucky gammon from you and beat you that way. And this book, writing the book and doing all these rollouts, was a revelation for me, because I got to see that all these positions where somebody had some trivial edge in the opening and a few threats were easy takes. And so that changed my subsequent play very much. But that was how the idea for the book came to be and basically how it got executed.
Yeah, Bill, let me tell you a story along these lines. This would have, been around the same time, and I, was fairly new to backgammon. So I was watching a match, the 15-point match between Tony Goebel and Lynn Goldsmith, who were arguably two of the best players in the world at the time. And soon the score was 12-12 after 24 games. And I was thinking at the time, boy, this is the way good backgammon should be played. Good, tight backgammon, 24 doubles and passes. And today I now realize just how badly they had to be playing.
It was the opposite of good backgammon.
The absolute opposite, yeah. Well, I mean, with correct play, probably around 2/3 of initial doubles should be taken. Should be double takes rather than double passes.
Yeah, that's the number I play with. But around 2/3 should be taken.
Lee, do you want to say anything here?
First, I was very interested in Bill's comments about the whole thing because, with Mr. Dweck, because I also had an evening before my match with someone took me outside, a very good player, but David Leibowitz, and came and grabbed me out of the casino and said, come with me. And I'm a friend and I didn't think there was anything wrong with doing that. And I left with him, went to the room, and he brought out 6 matches of Joe Dweck's that he had recorded. And he played them all with me, with, me being Joe. And I would see checker plays that I thought I played better with some of the checkers. And he was so hesitant in the cube, there, I left with confidence. And first I was playing, oh my God, I'm playing Joe Dweck. But I felt more confident after.
Yeah, I think Joe developed this approach in the early 70s when it was really successful for him. Because then at that time, it was before my time, I hadn't taken up the game, but I believe that at that time, play was just generally sloppy enough that he was right to think he could grind people down with better checker play. But by 1981, that was no longer the case. People generally played the checkers well enough. You had to handle a cube well too in order to win.
Or at least anybody who's going to run into in the finals.
Yeah.
Bill, we've had a question about your books. All of us have enjoyed the first 2 volumes of your How to Play the Opening. So the question specifically was when book 3 is going to be out.
Book 3 is done except for the last section of the last chapter. I'm still working on that this week. And then it's mostly been proofread. I just have to typeset it. So I would guess I'll get it to the printer in mid-August and have it back in early September.
And Kit, people are missing your books. Do you have any new book projects?
Nothing in the works now, no.
Remember, Kit, your publisher is very easy. He'll print almost anything you write.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Okay.
Bill, tell people how they can find your books.
Just go to www.thegammonpress.com and they're all there. Everything that's in print is there. Stuff that's out of print, you're gonna have to look on your own.
I hate looking at this number we're seeing. Are you looking at what I'm seeing? That double 3s is still down there.
Oh yes, look at that. Sorry, Lee.
I don't want
Double
double 3s in my head.
That and the double 4s that
Oh, the double 4s were
won on
pretty
the
strong
last
too.
roll.
That was also strong, but the 3s are really like magnificent.
What can I say? I was very lucky. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to fess up. When the dice favor you, you got to be honest about it.
Daphne, can you go off mute and come on and ask your question directly?
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, Daphne.
Hi, how's it going?
Going good. I still remember our match.
Good. I was just wondering, you know the match that you analyzed and you rolled it by hand. Did you run it through XG later when it became available and did those rollouts match XG?
No, I never have. No reason not to, except, I never found the time and that was a long time ago. So no, I never have.
No worries. Yeah, I was
There'll
just
be-
curious,
I
like
mean, I'm
how
sure there'll
accurate
be-
those rollouts are.
I'm sure there'll be some discrepancy, but no, I've checked, 501 essential backgammon problems multiple times against XG and stuff, but no, I haven't gone that far back.
I rolled it through Jellyfish way back when. I don't remember anything significant about it. Is there anything specific you wanted to know about it?
No, I was just curious to see like how accurate those rollouts are because that's so much work. Like it better be worth it.
I'm gonna say that probably when you do hand rollouts like that, you're gonna get the right answer 80% of the time.
That's good.
That's, for that period, that was good enough to make a substantial difference in someone's game. I mean, my game got better by a lot as a result of doing that.
Yeah.
Daphne, thanks for joining us from Australia. I don't know what hour of the day or night it is, but congratulations on how well you've done in the first phase of the Women's Online World Championship. You came out, I think, one of the top 5 players in Asia and Australia.
Thank you. The last match I didn't play well, but the others I did, yeah.
Well, good luck in the next phase. So,
Thank you.
Okay, well,
other questions? I think we have. Larry Brown, did you have a question that you wanted to ask?
No, he wanted to know if it could be run, and he was saying it could be run through himself.
Yeah.
No questions. Thank you. Good announcement. Good day.
Larry's director of the Beltway Backgammon Club in the Washington, D.C. area,
Ah, okay.
and did very well at the recent Michigan tournament. Well, I think we're going to have to wrap it up at this point, but this has been just an outstanding session. So first of all, congratulations on the high level of your play. Just amazing performance, and even more your analysis and commentary. So thanks to everybody for being with us. Thanks particularly to Bill and Lee. And join us again in August, on August 9th, where Kit Goulding and I will take our turn at playing each other.
and one quick announcement since so many wonderful people are here. Francis, do you want to pick it up?
Yeah, you may have seen some emails from Women in Backgammon. We are creating a whole new section of the website that will include clubs and tournaments and events. Welcome to anyone from all over the world. We're cultivating it all in one section of the website. So if you're a part of a club, you run a club, you're a director, please email womeninbackgammon@gmail.com with the information. I would love to get you added to the website so people in your area can join.
We should also alert people that we have conducted a survey with Backgammon Galaxy. We'll be releasing the results of that survey very shortly, and we'll be supporting the women's event at the Backgammon World Championships in Monaco. So stay tuned for what I think is going to be some exciting insight into how to grow the backgammon game and attract more women, particularly to competitive play.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, thank you for hosting this. It was fun.
Good to see you, Bill.
Good to see you, Lee. Sorry I rolled like God, but that happens sometimes.
That's all right. I never played on a computer, so I had a lot of learning to do.
Well, you played fine.
Yeah, actually, Lee, this is Lisa Spear. So,
Hi, Lisa.
thank you so much. I know you don't normally play online, and I hope to see you more often online. Thank you so much for taking this on and showing us.
It's my pleasure. Karen just introduced me to this today, and I had not even used the board or anything. So I need a little practice, and then I'll be there.
Absolutely.
It makes me very nervous right now that I feel like I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, no. We all know you know what you're doing. It's just there's a learning curve with the computer. So thanks for being here.
Thank you. Good to see you. I'll see you in a month.
Yes.
Okay, good night, everybody. I'm going to sign off. It
Night,
was a
Bill.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Hi,
Okay.
kid.
Hi.
Thank you.